Well, the plan today had been to come and scout out a particular area of Wallasey. Excuse me, it's ever so slightly raining and a little bit breezy, so I'm hoping that the mic isn't picking up too much wind noise. It's a really murky, overcast, grey day, which is perfect for the type of images that I had in mind when I decided to do my project for the summer, which, if you've watched the video from West Kirby Marina, you'll be aware of. What I should have done, in hindsight, is check the tide times against sunrise and sunset, because it seems that between March and December, the two don't actually coincide on any days that I can get here. So I'm having to make a bit of a compromise and look at shooting during the not quite so good light times. So during the middle of the day, during the very early afternoon and during the mid-morning. I came up to Prestatyn last night to do a talk at a photography club and decided it would be really rude of me not to spend a few days having a scout around, looking at the places that I want to shoot for my project. These sea defences are very reminiscent of the ones at Felixstowe, and they have got a gorgeous coating of green algae and seaweed. I would like to get them in sunlight because that would really make the image pop. However, I'm quite happy to stick with my original plan and do minimal shots, black and white and negative space images. My plan is to just have a quick wander around, use my phone camera to try some compositions out. There's no point in me getting the big camera out. It's going to get wet. I'm probably going to need the tripod. I can't do long exposures in this weather. The rain is just going to spoil it completely. And I'm also looking at the tide height. Today's high tide is just before 3, and I believe it comes up to 8.8 meters. So I want to see how far up that comes, because we have a lovely stretch of sea defences here, and then we have a curve going out to the sea with a groin at the end. And then we have a row that come off the side in a virtually straight line, the far end of which doesn't have any algae on it, just a bit at the front. And I'm looking to see if my thought process is right, that I need to be here for a receding tide. I think coming in is going to be too risky. I could end up sinking or getting cut off. But I also want to see how far that 8.9 metre tide actually comes in. So I'm going to have a quick wander around, take a few phone shots, just so that I've got it in my mind where I need to be, what I need to do, what works and what doesn't, when I come back and conditions are exactly as I want them, i.e. not raining. The cloud, the overcastness, the greyness, overcastness, is that even a word? That doesn't bother me. That's exactly the conditions that I'm after for the images that I want to produce. The rain is not part of it. That's just not playing ball at all. The tide is actually coming in really, really quickly. So I'm definitely thinking it's a receding tide. In fact, if I don't rescue you soon, I'm not going to get you back. I'll see you in a bit. What I meant to say, while I was stood out there rattling to you, the reason I'm doing this, the taking out and showing you the preparation for a shoot, is because it's not something I've ever really done before. And in all fairness, I have a tendency to rock up and spend 10-15 minutes looking around, finding a composition and shooting it. Because of the tide times, I'm having to put a lot more thought and preparation into doing this particular project. Maybe between December and March, when the tide times coincide with sunrise and sunset, I will find it a lot easier, but I'm impatient and I don't want to wait that long. Even though a lot of the images are going to become mono, personally I think you still need the soft light to make them work really, really well. And you get the soft light at sunrise and at sunset. I'm not worried about the colours. Overcast and grey days like this should still work because the light is being diffused as it comes through the clouds, and therefore it's not as harsh as it would normally be. Oh. I don't know if you can hear the rain, but it's kind of stopped play. The heavens have just absolutely opened. It's crazy. I hope this caught that. That's thunder going overhead. This is my second visit to the sea defences at Meols. Now high tide is 10 to 4. And as I said, I need an outgoing tide, but I thought I'd come and have a look, get here early so I can be following the tide out literally as it starts to go out. And I'm quite shocked. We're 25 past 3. And all the defences except this row of 4 have disappeared. Now I've been stood here for about 10 minutes and I'm guessing the tide isn't going to come a huge amount higher because it's not coming in anymore, or it hasn't come in anymore over the last 10 minutes. So I fired off one shot that I really like, except for the sky. There is the merest hint of a breeze, and it's just not enough to move those clouds. I'm just ending up with it all blocky, which is really frustrating. It's nothing that can't be photoshopped out. Oh, let's get to the light. But I would prefer not to have to do too much. But we had horrific rain earlier on. We had thunderstorms, we had hailstones. So I was, if you look just over here, you can see the black clouds moving in. Now it isn't supposed to rain this evening. Fingers crossed. Yeah. I'm gobsmacked. It's a slightly lower tide than yesterday when I was here. I'm amazed at how different it is. And yesterday the water that was coming along here isn't coming along here today. I'm sure there's a very good reason for it. I know I'm spinning you around, I'm trying to find the light. I set up, I think I'm at F11. I did the first one just for the 10 stop, and that gave me 25 seconds. I think I said when I did my first piece here that this might take 2, 3, 4, 5, even 6 trips to get the final image that I want, but I'm going to have fun making images along the way. So I'll catch up with you in a bit. So I've changed my composition very slightly. I've moved to the side of the sea defences, and I now have them going out at an angle with the first row of 4, where are we? This row here, coming in sort of halfway across the frame, just leading you out. I'm not certain, let's turn you around again, I'm not certain that works, but I'm going to have a go, and then I'm going to try from the other side. Whilst the long exposure was cooking, I had a quick wander around with a mobile phone and just tried a couple of different compositions to see what I thought. There are times when having a second camera could come in really useful. Only my second camera's at home. Never mind. The tide is coming in a little bit further now. It's very strange. One day I'll understand the sea. Right, I'm going to see how this is doing. Right. As I say, I just changed my composition slightly, and that I really like. There's less of this horrible cloud up here to cope with, which is fab. It's going to take some post-processing to get exactly the finish I want. Yesterday's sky was a lot better for me, but I'm quite happy with that. Yeah. You can see how good a job these sea defences are doing. The waves, I'm watching them come in, I'm hearing them first. They're really powering across and they hit these concrete structures and it just dissipates the energy. Top marks to the man who designed them. I'm having to re-evaluate my initial thoughts. I decided on my first visit that this would be a sunset spot and an outgoing tide. The outgoing tide was mainly for safety, but no pain, no gain. I'm now thinking, because, I'll show you in a second, because the sun is coming in at completely the wrong angle for at least one of the images that I want, I have a feeling that sunrise is going to be better because the sun is going to be coming up over here somewhere, which is the opposite side to the ocean, which is fine. The incoming tide, I think I need, because I want to get the water coming over the sea defences, where I thought that I could get to and stand, I'm finding I can't because a lot of it's quicksand. I put my foot down in several places and thought, oh, yeah, I'm going to end up stuck. And I do need to put my waders on. So I'm going to have a bash tomorrow morning. I've actually got to be somewhere tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, and it's supposedly an hour and a half from here. But so sunrise is 5:18, high tide is 4 o'clock, I think. So the tide is still not going to be perfect. I think first light is somewhere around 4:20, 4:30, something like that. But I think it's going to be worth a look. As I say, this is going to be a long one, this. I'm just going to have to keep coming back and coming back. Maybe this is the wrong time of year. Maybe I need to look later on during the year to see if the angle of the sun moves to such that I can get the images that I want. Where the curved one is, which is that long one, I want to get out to there and stand and shoot down the curve. If I do that now, I'm going to be going straight into the sun. So you can see how harsh the light is. It's really not doing anything for me. I really want soft light. Tomorrow morning, by the time we get to sunrise, the tide should, looking at the rate of knots it's going out at, the tide should be out far enough with waders that I can get out there. As I say, there's about an hour and a half difference between sunrise time and high tide. The hour before sunrise is when you tend to start getting the colour. So that puts me to half an hour after high tide, which could work well. Fingers crossed. So anyway, I'm just going to have a play and I'll catch up with you on the next trip here. Hopefully we'll have more success.